Hi guys, Tiffany here, and welcome to my quilting life. So it's late, it's 10 p.m. for me, so it's probably later for you guys, or it's early, it just depends on where you live. Don't forget, if you're new to my channel, head down here, right there, that side, down, right there, to subscribe to my channel, hit that bell, and when you do, a thing will pop up, then you just hit to get notifications when I'm on, because all I do is live videos. Don't forget to like my videos and share them as well. So I'm trying to get this on so I can not have to squint. I only turned one screen on, so that way I could see. And I'm going to sit here and mindlessly sew and hang out. So let's see. Oh my goodness, turn screen. Hi Vicky, 1:01 a.m. Yeah, so it's going to be late for most of you. That's why if anybody doesn't get notifications that I'm on, it's because it's late. But I'm just going to work and do it live so you guys can see the process. I haven't touched any of this since I left the room earlier. I had to go take care of some stuff, and now that it's taken care of, I can sew. Yeah, they don't have a plane that, well, they do. You could probably fly from here to Vegas, Vicky, but unfortunately we just drove there. So, all right, I'm going to plug this in so that it stays nice and charged while I sew. So I should be able to see what I'm doing. So earlier I left off. I had one piece left over because I just kind of threw some together. And what we're making is this block. It's called the Simple Slice. That's it. It's the same thing. It's for large print blocks called Simple Slice. And so far I got like 6 done or something like that. And I'm just going to finish by putting this one together real quick because this one's single. And it's made by, let's see, you can see this little section. Here was the original block, obviously. 7" by 7" square, 3.5 by 7" or 3" by 7", 3" by 7", and 3" by 3". Those were the cuts, and then obviously we ended with the first slice in there. And I still haven't attached this whole pile yet, but the one piece is on. These are 1" strips, so it's not changing the size of this 10" block. So I'm going to put this right sides together on this side real quick and attach this one quickly, and then get to sewing the rest of all those. And I'm just going to chain piece the whole lot of them. So I'm just going to start with this one, and I'm just going to cut this off right here, right now, while I'm at it, so that way it's nice and flush. That way that next piece I can just start with it and go. And I'm going to cut this little end piece off as well. I'm mainly using scissors for this project because it just seems easier to sit here and use scissors. And I haven't even finished using up my green bobbin thread. So I'm just putting this on here. They should be exactly aligned, and to know that you're getting them aligned, just lay it on there. You can see that the stitches are on each side. Super simple. Like I said, that's why the name of this one is Simple Slice, because you're really just slicing up some fabric and putting it right back together again, which is pretty much the whole point to quilting. Oh, to come there? If I had time, Vicky, I'd come visit. I would come visit all of my fans. If I was able to do that and could afford it, I would come out and visit anybody that needed me there. And I'm trying to prevent this seam from flipping. You can see how that flipped up. I really don't care right now on this. I'm just going to leave it. But for further seams, I'm going to attempt to not let them flip. And I'm just going to throw, now that this is on here, I'm just going to throw this over here in my pile on the ironing board, because I'm not going to even bother with some pressing until I have all these together and ready. So I'm just going to take this whole lot of my 3" squares and my 3" by 7" pieces, and I'm just going to start finger pressing one piece back, adding the next piece to it, and just sewing them through the machine mindlessly. Mindlessly sewing them through the machine. And I'm just going to do this until this whole pile is done. Doing my best to keep everything in order. I'll just throw this up here for now. I'll just try to remember that that's that. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. Maybe this screen. Oh, okay, there's two. Who's the other person in the room besides Vicky? Feel free to chit chat. So this is all I'm doing. Just going to sew all these together. I didn't want this not to be recorded, so you guys know how simple this is. And I could have probably just even pressed all these back, because all I'm doing is pushing them one direction. Probably would have been a lot easier than sitting here finger pressing them, which I kind of think I should just do real quick. I'm just going to run these through the iron real quick while I'm right here. Should only take a second because it's just one little seam. I'll sew some more while I'm right here, but I think I'm going to just press them all back with the iron. I usually chain piece and chain press, if anybody has paid attention to that over time with my videos. That's another reason why I get things done so quick, is I chain piece and chain press. Makes it easier, for me at least. I don't know about everybody else out there, but okay, the iron should be warm enough, and I'm just going to press them and put them upside down. So I'm just going to roll it back right here and put it upside down next to it. That way they stay in the order that they're supposed to be in. If my little pile would stay nice. So I'm just putting it right here and running the iron to push the whole seam back. It's such a small seam, it's only 1 inch, so it kind of just presses really, really easily. I'm just going to press it and stack it, press it and stack it. This is where it would be awesome to have somebody, a pressing buddy and a cutting buddy. Somebody to do the pressing, somebody to do the cutting. Things would get made so much faster. I'd probably have that Mariner Star done by now if I had that. Of course, I need the room to lay that one out so I can get down to those next measurements on that one. But I'm just rolling them back. Just takes a second, a little bit of iron. Don't even really need steam. I use steam, but don't really need it. Just need a little bit of heat to keep them nice and back. Just real quick. And they're so small, they get hot really easily. And I have the whole floor cleaned up for when it's time to lay this whole project out. So I'll be able to lay everything out. That way it's not me just randomly putting something together. I can lay it out and then add the next pieces to everything. And I definitely am going to sash it with the 1-inch strips as well. I have decided on that while I was out and about doing everything I needed to do today. That way it's going to be the same size either way, but it will separate the blocks. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. It'll look more stained glassy. That's why I said you can use black in the beginning, because that was kind of like the inspiration behind this was stained glass. All right, so these are together now. Now I can just run them through and not have to finger press every single one, but yeah. Let's just run these through now. Grabbing one from in front of me, one from the table. Just have them everywhere. Looks like there's another person in here. You could say hello. It's late. Nobody else is on if you're chat shy. It is okay right now. I just want to get this process recorded, and I wanted to sew. I didn't want to sit in my room and watch TV. I thought I wanted to sit in my room and watch TV, but I said, nah. I decided I'd rather sit in here and sew. Because to me, that's better than watching television. Plus, when it's late like this, it's easier to get more sewing done. There's nothing else going on in the house, as long as I'm not too loud about things. Speaking of loud. Hey, Lacey. So it's not late for you, huh? You're on my same time zone, aren't you? Ooh. So I'm just trying to sew these. I'm still trying to be mindful of making sure everything lines up. Just after midnight there. So it's 10, 11 here. So you're 2 hours different. Where are you again? What state? Vicky's up there in the Great Lakes. Near the Great Lakes. Central time zone. So Central would be 2 hours for me. So Eastern is 3 hours for me right now. And California is actually on the same time zone as us right now. So yeah. And anywhere else in the world, it's tomorrow. Like afternoon. You guys getting any sewing done? Or are you just up late? Like me. Sewing and up late. Oops. That one almost shifted on me. Can't have any of that. And again, I'm keeping them, by chain piecing them, I'm keeping them in order. So when I'm done chain piecing this whole pile, I'll press this whole pile, chain press this whole pile, and then I'll just chain piece that whole pile while these are still on the frame, on the machine. And then I'll pull everything off and stack it back in its order, which makes it so much easier to do these things. I don't know why other people didn't think of this in the past, this whole piecing it through. It's better than one piece at a time, that's for sure. So I looked them up on Google. That's me. I don't remember crap either. I never know when my mom's area. She's in California, and they have to set their times, their clocks back. And I'm like, I call her at like 10 p.m. me, and she's like 9 or 11. It's either an hour ahead or, yeah, she goes an hour ahead, I think. Something like that. I don't know. They always lose an hour every year. I always forget it. So if she doesn't tell me, I don't know. Washing rug still tomorrow. I'll move coffee table and couch, then done. We'll have to look up holidays too. I never remember holidays. I know Christmas, that's it. But I still have to look every year to know what day Christmas, you know what I mean? Like what day it's falling on. All right, these I'm just going to push back. I'm going to press this one while I'm right here. Might as well. That way that block is done and out of the way. All right. So I'm just going to press it and stack them upside down. So I'm just rolling it back. I'm literally just taking the piece, because it's not folded. You can see that far right here. And I'm just lifting it a little and then using the iron to just push it back. And it's not distorting anything. It's just nicely pushing it back. Because it's pretty much the length of the iron, so the whole iron is touching the piece. I'm just stacking them upside down so that I keep them in order. It's the best way to do it. If you're trying to keep something in order, just keep stacking it back into that order again. Just the opposite way. So if you got to go upside down, you put the pieces upside down, it puts it right back in the order you want it to be in. And if they're not laying perfect, that's okay, because I'm going to be sewing them anyway. Oops, that piece, I hit it too hard. Iron. So I'm just taking them and rolling them back. There's no, I'm not even pre-pressing it, you know, the seam. I'm not even this. Setting the seam and then rolling it back, because I think that just takes too long for this. This is such a small little piece. Oops, now I'm doing it. Now that I said it, I'm doing it. It's such a small piece, there's no point. I just lift it and roll it back. I'm hoping you guys don't hear the music, because I don't want to get in trouble for having music on, but I'm pretty sure you don't hear it. So yeah, today, when I disappeared for a little while, I went to Vegas to go to the airport. What a long drive, let me tell you. I mean, it's not that long. It's actually only like 2 hours, but it seems long when there's a car full of children, 2 little toddlers on the way back, you know, with them and their mama. So, and they were very fussy on the plane and very fussy in the car for mama. Kind of sucked, but we made through and managed to get home in record time. And then watched some TV for a few minutes when I ate my food, and then I came in here and said, I'm just going to sew, because that's what I'm going to do. But I didn't want to not do it on live feed, so I didn't want to accidentally skip a step, just in case. Because if I start it and then you guys see it done, you're like, what did she do? How did she do that? Especially since this is specifically for beginners. I don't want anybody to miss out on these beginner projects, you know, the start to finish of them. But I did have to go. I would have had this done earlier, but I did have to go do things today, so everything got done. I think tomorrow or the next day I go to the doctor's. Forgot which day it was. A lot of being out of the house this week, that's for sure. Usually don't get out of the house this often, but have been a lot lately. Alright, so now I just turn the whole stack back over and everything's ready for me to sew it through. And it should be in the same exact order. And like any time, oops, let's turn these around. I'm sewing the side that I cut, so all my pinked edges will be back on the outside again. So now that I'm on the bottom stack, my straight edge will be on the top and on the side, on the right. And everything is still connected, so everything is still in order. And when I take it and cut it off with the fancy cutting gizmo, everything will go right back to the order that it was in when I pulled them off. So that way when I sew them together, you can go back together in the order they came. And I did, before I pressed the go live button, I did cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more strips just in case. Oh, I finally ran out of my green bobbin. So I cut 6 more 1-inch strips for the put together. So when I get to that part, I'll have 6 more 1-inch strips towards it. And plus I'm doing the sashing with the 1-inch strips. So it should go pretty quick since most of them are already cut. And I just put this back on there and run it through. I'm just going to keep running it through. So let's see. Washing. Okay, let's see what the call it is. I got CR. What's CRS, Vicky? I didn't want to have to look at the big screen, but I do like to look up at it so that you guys can see me. Direct vision. I hope I have it at a good enough angle to see me and everything. I'm hoping it's clear too. I didn't turn as many lights on. I kind of wanted to keep it just a little bit more duller in here. I don't know what CRS is. You're losing me. I don't know. If I'm typing, I'm not sewing, and if I'm paying attention, I'm not sewing. I can never remember. I have a hard time watching people's videos while sewing too. I could turn them all on the big TV and watch while sew, but I'm like, oh, is that how it's done? So I kind of stare, so I know what it's like to try not to chit chat, because then you want to say something. The machine's taking itself off the table like always. It's trying to run away from me. I'm overworked and underpaid. You know, I gotta tell you guys something funny. I had a dream. I never talk about that kind of stuff, dreams and stuff, because it's so weird. But I think it's because I watch a lot of TV and movies, and I read a lot and watch videos and stuff. And I had this dream the other day that I went on the road. Me and Scott bought like a fifth wheel toy hauler type, the kind that has that big door that pops down on the back to drive your toys up into. That's why they call them toy haulers. And I had a dream that we bought one of those, and it had like a bedroom loft thingy up in the fifth wheel part, and we had a nice truck to pull it with, and blah blah blah. And we did Tiffany on the road, and I had like 30,000 subscribers in my dream. I'm at 300, so my dream exaggerated it, I guess, by 2 extra zeros. So I had a lot of subscribers, and I went Tiffany on the road. So my channel went from my quilting life to being my quilting life on the road, going around to everybody's houses. And like in my dream, I visualized like what you guys look like. So maybe I spend too much time on Facebook or something, seeing you guys' profile pictures in the group. But I went around to all of you guys' houses, and we did live videos from everybody's house, showing off how everybody's quilting spaces and the different things that everybody does, so that the whole world would know that not every quilter is the same and does the same thing. But in my Tiffany on the road thing, I went to everybody's houses as not only just to help teach and learn from other people, but I was actually in my fifth wheel toy hauler thing. The reason for the big, space in the back, I had a long arm in it. And I was not only teaching long arming, but I would come to you and long arm on the scene. In my dream, I was coming to people, long arming, and or showing you how to use a long arm. I had a big, huge machine in the back of a toy hauler. It was just the coolest dream. And Scott and I were traveling, and it's the weird thing because I was seeing mountain ranges and things I've never seen in my life in my dream, only because I watch movies. So I was probably, visualizing things that I've seen in a movie and just placing it somewhere where I would think you guys live. It was actually a pretty cool dream, though. Like, if I could do something like that with my life, that would be awesome. Unfortunately, I don't think anybody's that rich to be a traveling long armor / YouTuber. I mean, there's lots of traveling YouTubers, but visiting every single one of my subscribers, that would be like super awesome. All right. As soon as I get these, I'm going to press them all open, or in, I should say, and then sew the centers. And I can get 6 per strip, if you guys remembered, 6 or 4 per strip. Sorry, why was I thinking 6? Because of when I was doing the 7 inches, but we're going to be doing 10, turning them back into 10-inch strips. So we'll get 4 per every strip that's left here. So I might have to cut more, which is good because I did give plenty of allowance on what was needed for the background fabric. I said 1.5 yards would be good. Most likely be plenty. Might need to add a little bit more. So 2 yards probably to be able to do that first border with a 2.5-inch border of the matching color. But this is definitely good for these large prints because look, I was able to keep those butterflies. So it's definitely something for large prints. That's why I came up with this one. It's simple. That's why the name. Simple, easy, and definitely awesome for solids. And you can mix, or for large prints, and you can mix around the pieces if you want. They don't actually have to. You guys can move around, mix it all up, but you're still ending up with 10-inch squares, which is the whole idea behind this one. So if you do 2 layer cakes, obviously it'll be a little bit, it'll be queen size if you do 2 layer cakes. With the sashing doesn't matter because it's only 1 inch, so it's bringing the blocks back to the same. But my bed has the amount of 2 layer cakes on it, and the one that I made for myself and quilted every block. So, and that one is queen. And that's the amount of 2 layer cakes. So I do know that 2 layer cakes makes a queen. And if you add borders, you can make a king. Alright, one more. Break them apart and then press them. Making it quick, so I'll chain press. So yeah, back to the dream. What do you guys think? For those of you who are watching later, isn't that like the coolest, like, wouldn't that be like a really awesome way to be a YouTuber and help people in the quilting world? A traveling quilt teacher. And in my dream, I didn't like dream that I brought quilts with me or anything. I just dreamed of all the things that I was seeing at everybody's houses and then the long arming experiences. I didn't have any like completely vivid and, you know, type pictures. I just knew what I was kind of seeing. Simple and simple. All right, see how I'm keeping these in order? I'm just restacking them back right here in the order that I'm plucking them off so that you don't lose your order when doing this. This is how it works so much faster if you put everything back in order and you don't have to find the piece that's supposed to go wherever. And you can also, just for video's sake, to tell you guys, you can also add in the next step when sewing it together. Let me just grab this. I know it would change the look a lot, but you can also add a tiny little 1-inch cornerstone right here if you're worried about lining it up, but it's lining up perfectly. But you can if you want. Everybody's opted to do whatever they wish that, you know, they think is what they, you know, like or want or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. So if that's the way you want to do it when building this, you know, just go ahead and do it. Okay, now I'm back to these little ones, and I'm going to keep these in order right here too. Just like so. Making sure that they're not tangling as I go. I'm just stacking them up right here. That way everything can go back together again. So I just really, in all actuality, I chopped up the block and sewed it right back together again with its color that I chose to go with it, which is the white, and all I need to do is sew it back together again, and it's the same block, just with with a plus sign in it, really. Side to side plus sign. I think this is very fun, and you can do it any which way you want, but this one's called Simple Slice to do it this way, and I think it's going to have quite the look when it's done. Because honestly, I would have probably never chose these fabrics for anything else. I mean, it was a nice layer cake, but this is not something I would have normally chose. I chose it because of the butterflies. So I'm going to stand right here real quick, and I'm just going to press these all to the one side. And I'm going to stack them upside down. I just want this to the, just like this. One goes one way, so we're making sure that those seams press towards the inside, so that way it looks like you didn't do anything to the block. Makes it easier, I think. I can't see my comments at this very second, by the way, just letting you guys know. I don't have my phone right here with me. And I can't read. I'm only on the computer screen only right now. I didn't want to turn on too much, like I said. Just wanted the computer screen only. The less lights at night, the better. My hair is blowing in my face. Oh, I see comments, and I see another thingy that popped up. So let's bring this close. We got, hi, Sonia. Yeah, okay, guess you better get started playing. Yeah, right? That's definitely what my dream was, probably the winnings of the lottery or something, you know, what I could do if I won the lottery. And I wouldn't expect anything from anyone. I would just do it just because this is what I love to do. You know what I mean? Just like I'm doing now, honestly. I don't get paid from YouTube. Don't have enough subscribers. And you have to have like 15 or 20,000 anyway to get paid from YouTube. It might be 10, but it'll be a long, long time before I get that far. And I wasn't really expecting to get that far, honestly, guys. I just like doing this for fun. I like to teach. It's the whole point behind this. And I like to design, although someday my patterns will not always be free. I have so many patterns that I've wrote and I've just not done anything with because of that. I do give you guys all the beginner easy stuff though, for sure. But don't think that means that I'm gonna not give away free patterns, because I will be giving away free patterns, you know. The writing it part is gonna be, you know, probably never gonna happen. I'm never gonna be able to perfectly write them all. So that stuff you guys will just have to wait till someday when I can actually have someone write the patterns for me, you know? I'm going to turn so you can see me better. You're good? Okay. Hi, Sandy. I didn't see you there. Sorry, I'm trying to press. Yeah, let's see. You can get it monitors. Get monitors. Oh, you mean you can start getting paid at 1,000? I didn't know that. What I've read is larger numbers when YouTube starts, because you'll only get like 2 cents here and there, you know. And I don't think I make enough videos anyway for that, for the algorithms to even pay me. I mean, I only do live feeds. I don't know. I don't know if I'm really going to ever switch from live feed, guys, unfortunately. I mean, I'll post short videos here and there, the ones that I don't have to edit. And if it is edited, it's just a bunch of videos combined, you know, because I made it, saved it to the computer, and then just put them all together without a editing program, you know, if that makes any sense. Because unfortunately, the other day I did the lightning video for shits and giggles, you know, and obviously some of you have been viewing it, but I made that lightning video, or not lightning, why am I thinking lightning? Firework video. I had like 7 fireworks. I took a video for like 7 videos worth, and they were short, but I wanted to combine them and add music. But I could not figure out for the life of me how to take out the emptiness and only have the fireworks, you know, because the emptiness is just the camera moving around, and it's kind of lame, you know, and I could not for the life of me figure out how to do that. I mean, I guess I have to move the video, or I have no idea what I was doing. All right, let me press these guys. You can care less about it. You do it for the fun. Just like me. Yeah, Sandy, I do it for the fun too. I mean, you can, I mean, if it gets there, obviously it'll be great because it'll help afford this. I mean, I am kind of, I'm doing more than I actually have the supplies for in reality. If that makes any sense. I'm kind of pushing it a little, but Scott and I will figure it out. If I can sell my quilts, then it would be better. You know what I mean? Things would help just a little bit more if I can sell them. Then I wouldn't have as much of a problem with affording all this. And that's probably why I don't design as much as, or give out my designs as much, because some of the things I have, I like to save in case a customer says, oh, hey, that's awesome. Can you make me something with that? That's kind of why I haven't used a lot of the stuff I have. And then obviously the yardage is great to have on hand because I like to be able to match things up. So, but anything that uses jelly rolls, layer cakes, and 5-inch squares and stuff, that stuff I don't mind using. Anything else, though, I like for there to be a selection for people to choose when I'm, when they come to me asking to make something for them. I like to have options. And I can't have options if I'm using it all up on my videos, if that makes any sense. So someday it would be nice, if that's where I'm getting at. Someday it will be nice to have a page, a channel that I get paid for. For now, though, I really don't care. I'm just glad you guys come and hang out with me. Especially since it's like super late for all of you, huh? I had to close with 45 degrees in the summertime. Are you kidding me, Vicki? I can't believe that. 45 in the summer, huh? Wow. I couldn't do it. I would die. You guys know me. Nothing below 70. Can't do it. I'm like, keep turning the way I was pressing. I'm either pressing from the top, folding it in, or not. That's okay. It's working out the same either way. I should just get myself a little rhythm going down here. Going from one hand to the other. Keep turning. Wish it was that cool there. It's probably like 100 degrees right now outside here. Well, the last time I was outside, I went to check the pool water. I got the hiccups, by the way. I went to check the pool water to see if it felt good enough to get in before I started sewing. Because that was my second option, was going in the pool. It was sew or go in the pool, or sew then go in the pool. But I wanted to make sure the water was good enough for me. And it's like 100 out there right now. Could be like 99 by now, maybe 98 at the less amount. I'm pretty sure it's 100. Oops, that one kind of opened up a little. Don't let that happen. It kind of folded over itself, so it was kind of lipping. We don't want that to happen. Definitely don't want that lip to happen. No folds or pleats or wrinkles of any kind. Can't have that. Oy. Keep doing it. Snagging the tip of the iron in on the block. Sonia's 72, but the humidity is high. What kind of humidity? Is it like 72 with 72% humidity? Here it was kind of humid today. We have overcast, and it was 10 degrees cooler than it normally is. The ride to Vegas, it was 106 outside. Obviously, we had the windows on and the AC on in the car, but It was definitely a nice ride. It was surprisingly cooler than normal, so we didn't have to run the AC on complete blast because it wasn't that hot shining in the windows with the overcast. But it's monsoon season. It's hitting down in Phoenix, but it's not hit here yet. We had the clouds though, all the whole way home. Oh, I want to show you this before I finish. See what happens when you save it? The rest of the butterfly is on the other side. If you see that, the rest of the flower is on each side. So that's how you know you're getting them lined up as well, as if the rest of the print ends up on the other side. That's the cool part about saving big blocks. You know, big prints on your blocks. So if you don't want to chop up those big prints, but you still want to make it look like you did something to the block, this is definitely a way to keep that with every block. All right, 2 or 3 more pieces to press. Now I can start sewing them together, and I'm just going to chain piece the whole lot of them. Can't wait to see some of you guys make this one without a pattern written down. Just remember the cuts. And I'll tell you again because I like to repeat myself. All right, now these are done. I'm just going to lay them like this because I'm going to do them this way. I'll just tell you guys this one more time. So here was originally, pretend the white isn't here. This was originally a 10-inch square, which is now a 10-inch square again. I keep forgetting to look right here for the camera. What I did was I cut in, I used my ruler, cut in 7 inches, and I left the block exactly where it is, the stack of 10-inch squares, and then I turned and cut 7 inches this way, leaving me with a 7 by 7 inch square, a 7 by 3 inch, 7 by 3 inch, and a 3 by 3 inch. So that's how I cut these up, just so you remember. I'll leave that right there so that you guys can see. All right, let's move this way. It's 68 there in North Carolina. God, why do you guys have such beautiful weather, even though I would be freezing, but it still seems better than what I have at least. All right, let me pull these strips out. We are going to start sewing all. I'm going to do this side first. And I'm always sewing. Let's move that out of the way. I'm always sewing on the side I cut. So my pinked edges are still all the way on the outside of this whole entire project. So I'm just going to line this on here because this end was already cut. I don't have my salvage on it anymore. And I'm just going to start sewing these in. We'll add the next one underneath it. Again, just chain piecing, sliding that next one right up to it, leaving enough space to cut at least. Lining the piece up and just sewing on down. Should get 4 per strip, 4 per each strip, with a little remainder, which you can toss or keep. It's up to you. I just toss all mine because they're really tiny. And I just sew off the edge, grab another strip from my lap, grab 4 more of these. Well, not grab 4, just sew on 4. Put that salvage up there at the top. Just sew right onto it. I should have the next piece every time, but I'm neglecting to do that. I try to hold them too. It's kind of nice to be able to hold the strip. It is a small 1-inch strip, so it's probably better to hold it instead of moving things. Send the heat there. Let me blow it your way. Do you feel it? My goodness. My cousin posted that monsoons hit down in Phoenix, so I was like jealous because I really want to. I hate the humidity and rain makes me feel like crap, but I do love me a good monsoon storm when it's super windy and rainy and thunder and lightning. It's so awesome. It's like a hurricane, only it's not. It's the West Coast version of a hurricane. Another strip. And you don't have to use a solid for this as well. You could also match a print up with your prints if it coordinates and it's not the same print. Solid gives it more of a look though, and it doesn't take much yardage. So a layer cake is like $27 to $36 in most places. Sometimes more, it just depends. And if you're like me and go to Walmart, it's $2.97 a yard for solid. And if you go to Hobby Lobby or any of those places, then you can get the Kona cottons for $5 something to $8 something a yard. It just depends on where you're shopping. So in all, this quilt actually doesn't cost much to make, especially for a beginner who wants to make sure they even like this, you know, likes quilting. This is definitely a pretty cheap project. And it's on that quick and easy, get it done today kind of project as well. So that's always good too. Even though this is white, I'm still making sure it's right side together. You know how to know when it's right sides together? Is that fold from the crease that's in the fabric. If that V is facing down towards your other piece, then that is right sides together. For those of you that are new to quilting and don't know the way it comes off the bolt, the V facing down is right sides. See, on a normal basis, I wouldn't have mixed this pinkish color with this brownish copper color. That wouldn't have been my choice, obviously. It'll still look nice though when it's done. I'm trying to hold my machine too because it wants to fly off the table. So is any of you planning on making this? And for those of you who are watching later, let me know in the comments below if you plan on making this one. Super simple. And I'll actually, in the description, I'll put the sizes, just so that it's in the description as well. And always don't forget that in the description is my email, my address if you want to mail me something. Postcards, guys. I haven't had a postcard in like 15 years. I keep telling you guys, I haven't had any mail in months. So Scott checks my box every day. But I'm just waiting for that one person to send me a postcard. Just because. And there's the group. So if you're subscribed to my channel, don't forget you can join the group where there's always still photos of all the projects that I'm working on, off and on camera. Well, not the projects, the pictures are taken off camera, obviously, because nobody's here to take a picture while I'm recording. But you know what I mean. I have some fabric shredding. That's why I keep pulling away like this. Okay, I'm thinking this is exactly enough strips. So I cut 16 earlier and then another 6, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20. I cut 22 strips. So that's technically 22 inches of fabric. So I haven't even used the full yard yet. And that's just so far. So this definitely will use, plus the first border and the sashings. Shouldn't use that much fabric. I keep taking myself too far. I gotta lift my foot at a time. Stop a 1/4 inch at least. thing about this presser foot, I do have to say, this specialty 1/4" guide foot, it does take fabric, especially fabric that's prone to shredding, the brand of fabric that's prone to shedding. It does make it worse because it gets caught under this little lip, which is like right at the edge of the feed dogs. It's kind of annoying in a little bit of a way. So is anybody going to be making this? Let me know in the comments below, because that's what I was talking about before I sidetracked myself, which happens quite often. I don't mean for that to happen, guys, when I get sidetracked, but as I was saying about the description below, you can find links to where I sell my quilts, also the group that has, they're not listed as a price or anything, but you can see what's there and idea wise. And then the group, but you have to be subscribed to my channel to join the group, because it'll ask you in the questions. And then what was I going to say? Then my Etsy shop, which has nothing in it right now, and it probably won't until I get some more time to sit and take pictures of all the quilts, because I have yet to do that since I've made a ton more since the last time, and I have boxes of them now. I literally have a closet full of quilts over there, and a ton of unfinished quilts, which I will get finished sooner or later, as soon as it's not hot anymore. Alright, what are you listening to? Right now Michael Jackson is on. I think that's what it is. Yep, Michael Jackson. It's just a radio. It's a little CD player, and the CD player don't work. It just works on radio, and it only gets like 2 channels. And the cool, funny thing is the little antenna things that are on the radios. I don't know if most of you remember the old CD players when they first started coming out, the little portable boombox style CD players. It has a little wire that you hook the end to a metal, like bunny ears type thing. Well, mine is connected to the thread, the spool holder over there on the Brother machine. So that is my bunny ears, is my spool holder. I get more channels with it connected to that, which is kind of funny. Yeah, that's what's on. It's Michael Jackson. I just like it on lightly. I gotta dull out the sound for the rest of the house, because Cyrus's room is on the other side of this wall, and then behind you guys on that wall is Scott in the living room. So, all right. So I didn't use all of the strips just yet, so I'll save those for the sashing by throwing them out of the way. And now I'm just gonna snip them apart, same as before. And I'm gonna stand to do this because I cut better when I stand up. And then I'll try to keep track of paying attention to my phone over here so I can see the comments. When I look up, though, I can see if there's something new, you know. All right, I'm just going to put them right back into the order they were. And I'm not going to press them at this point. I'm just going to just trim them all apart for now. Try to keep my scrap pile separate. So for now, I'm just going to trim them, place them right here, keeping them in their order. And then if I have to trim extra, I will. Same thing I was doing earlier. I'm trimming them apart. Some of them I got really nice and close, which is what I wanted. I think I want better scissors than that. Let's get out my Karen Kate Buckley scissors. Nice and straight, quick cuts. Now it's Devo that's on. It's kind of cool that I can name some of these old ones. I like listening to classic and old, like I like listening to 90s alternative rock. That's my favorite. And then classic rock is, well, technically classic rock is just the same in my favorites list. And if you don't trust yourself, you can actually cut from the back side like this to make sure that you're cutting between the block that you just cut. If you want, it's up to you. It's personal preference. I can see from either side, obviously, but this side I got to hold it 2 ways to make sure that I'm getting it. And I have to still trim a straight line. So, I mean, it doesn't matter which way you trim them. As long as you trim them, you can use the rotary cutter, which is probably the fastest way, but and the safest way without messing anything up. But it's making a 10-inch square either way, and they line up. As soon as you line up that center, everything lines right back up again. And you only have to do it 42 times, 4 times, connecting all 4 pieces, if that makes any sense. Go forward. Move ahead. Try to detect it. It's not too late to move it. It would be good. I used to dance around to this all the time when I was a kid. I gotta trim this side. I have this little mess now of all these little pinky pieces. Little snippets. They're all over me. You guys can't tell. I'm wearing a red shirt so you can see all the little itty bitty thread pieces and the pinking, all that stuff that comes off, all the fabric dander from that. I do have to say it's the messiest thing. Pinked edges on everything. Alright, just a few more to trim. Oops, I didn't get that in. I've asked before, but I'm going to ask again. What does everybody else do while they're sewing? Do you listen to the radio? Do you blast Pandora, on the radio? Or, like from your phones or something? Or do you read a book or listen to audio books? Or do you watch a movie or read? I don't know how you can read and quilt, but it's an option. Some people probably can. But what do you do while you're quilting for background sound? If you have to have background sound like me, because it's only necessary that I do. All right, throw all this out of my way, and I'm just going to finger. Oh, okay, I'm just gonna press them all again. I was gonna use my finger, but it's killing my little itty bitty what's left of a nail. I was getting acrylic done on my nails for a very long time, on my real nails, just so that they're stronger, since I do finger press a lot. But I had to let them stop for a while because I don't know what it is, but the nerves in my fingers after a while of having the acrylic on it, it's like pressure on my fingers. So it makes the tips tinglier, if that makes any sense. So I have them all really, 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 really short right now. That they're not like bite them short, but they're super short, and they tear really easily. So if I keep finger pressing with the little bunt of nails that I do have left, they are inevitably going to just rip right off. Okay, so let me just go ahead and do this pressing one more time, since I can't see from here. 59 minutes. Okay, I'm good. Feels like it's been longer. All right, so let's just press all these back. You could set the seam first. I mean, it's just a little dinky seam. I'm not even steaming them, just pressing, rolling back enough to add the next step. Plus, I can see which pieces have higher lip. Can you see that? It's just ever so slightly taller. So when I go to sew it, I'll make sure I trim it beforehand. Let's see. You like listening to Now You See TV, Midnight Ride, Shaking My Head production, stuff like that? So you like listening to other stuff? Midnight Ride, Shaking My Head production stuff. I'm trying to understand what that says. In reality, I am having issues putting things together. Pretty sure you're saying that you like to listen to me while doing your things. Yeah, one thing I don't think I could do is listen to, like, when I'm long arm quilting, I blast the radio out there on my little, I have like a little stereo thing out in the garage, and I blast it, because if I don't, like, I can't use headphones because I'll get too sweaty out there since I am in a garage, but I blast it really loud, for one, so the people in the house cannot hear the machine running, even though it's not very loud, and for two, it distracts me. If I have to listen to a book, I'm like trying to concentrate on listening to a book instead of the quilting. When I put loud, banging heavy metal, classic rock, loud music on, I actually pay attention better and do better quilting. It's weird. When I have to quilt in silence, when I'm like making videos and stuff, I've noticed I don't quilt as good. I like lose my zone. I get into this like specific zone when I'm long arming. If I've got loud music on, it's like it helps me concentrate. Are you guys the only ones awake in your houses right now? I think CJ might be awake in the other room next to me, playing video games, but he might not be. He had a really good birthday the other day. He went out with his dad. They went out to eat and to the movies and watched some new movie I've never even heard of and never even seen a preview for. It didn't really sound very interesting by the description of it. So it probably won't be something on my movie list. I was trying to figure out how to get this stupid thing off my ironing board. Do you guys know how these iron tray things come off? Because I never use it, and it's starting to rust. I don't know how it pops off. It looks like it just has a clip, but it's not popping off on that clip. So if any of you have popped off one of these stupid end pieces, let me know, because I need to know how it comes off. Besides chopping it off, because it looks like it's built onto the stupid frame. I usually use the big board, but I need the floor today, so the big board is up against the shelf, blocking all of my books and stuff, which I'm not using at the moment, so it doesn't matter. All right, just 3 more pieces, and then I could sew them all with their other corresponding sides and press them and be done for now. It's going pretty quick, I told you. It doesn't take that long. It's not as fast as the Layercake Madness, only because there's a couple extra steps with this one, but it's still easy, and it gives you those added steps to know if you really want to make it. All right, put this back on that side, and start sewing. Let's see, hold on. I like listening to, okay, that I already read that. Mandrick's the only one awake, but we don't go to bed till about 3. And Sonia doesn't go to bed 3 or 4. Like Tears for Fears, shout, shout, let it all out. These are the things I can do without. Yep, I like it too. All right, I'm lining these up, guys. So I'm going to show you real quick. That seam that we sealed off, if those stitching, the stitching on the sides goes on each side of that other one, there is no way that this can get messed up. And if you look at it from the back side, I mean, it's not even that far of a difference. So there's no way that that seam is going to get messed up. As long as you have it lined up right there, if the top is hanging over ever so slightly, just hold it down right here at the bottom. Use your fingers to make sure that it's not moving, and just slide it under the machine. And everything should stay in place. You know what I mean? It shouldn't shift or anything. And just hold it down here at the opposite end. I'm trying to hold that seam though. I don't want it to flip back because it likes to get flipped underneath my presser foot thing. Trying to think of the name of the guy that's on right now. I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube putting the radio up louder, but I'm pretty sure you guys will all know the song. You can hear it then, Sandy, right? If you knew I was listening to the radio. I don't know all the words, but I know some of the words. Do you really want to make me cry? Do you really want to hurt me? That's what's on. It's something George. Boy George. I knew it would come to me. Says, yeah, I tell you, I got something on the background, but I can't tell what it is. Oopsie, I'm not lining that up. I should be paying attention to this, not. I love you guys. You guys are always like keeping me on my toes. I actually have to pay attention. I'm all looking over here trying to see what you guys are saying, and I'm not paying attention to. I almost sewed this, not lined up. But it wouldn't matter because it would still come out the same, just ever so slightly up or down. I know my microphone picks up a lot of sound, so that's why I was curious if you guys could hear it. Oh, look at that, lining up perfect, and I wasn't even paying attention again. And you can pin. Also, that's another option for this block, guys. You can pin if you need to. You can tell I was just throwing these down. It's all crinkled. I was just stacking them up while they were hot, so they wrinkle a little. Oops. Time to tie the hair up. I have to tie it kind of high. If I tie it too low, my head will start throbbing so bad. I mean, it still throbs in a ponytail, but I just make it really loose because I get really bad head. I get headaches wearing sunglasses or my reading glasses. Well, technically they're not just reading glasses. They're supposed to be everyday glasses, but I throw them on to read. I see better with them, but they make my head hurt. Hey, Michelle. Been missing you. Were you sleeping the other night when I messaged you? I had an idea in my head, and then I was like, I gotta message Michelle, and I messaged you, but you weren't there, so all I did was ask if you were up, obviously. But I was like, that's kind of weird. She didn't respond. That's okay, because I still love you. You up sewing now? So as you can tell, since you just joined, I'm still working on simple slice. And I'm almost done putting all the blocks together, and then I'm going to sash them, because that's what I decided to do, is sash them with the 1-inch strips. And I'm also going to rotate them. I'm not going to lay them all the same direction, which actually looks better not laid in the same direction, even with sashing. So definitely follow along on that part for anybody that wants to make this exactly to the way I made it, just your own colors, obviously, because I personally, from experience in making and designing, it looks better. And as you can tell, some of my things are design as I go. So this is one of those design as I go. I thought of it, I wrote it down on paper, and then in my mind, it was like, oh, well, let's do this, let's do that, and that is working out. It's working out just the way it should. I keep flipping that piece, and I want it to lay one way. You're working on 2 blocks for a friend, 12.5-inch blocks. You're doing Jacob's ladder. Hey, that's on my list. Remember, Michelle, I put aside that pile to do the Jacob's ladder? That was one of my lists of things I was going to get done sooner or later, and I just haven't done it yet. But those fat quarters are still sitting there in that nice, pretty stack that I wrote Jacob's ladder next to. Oh, so here's another thing you guys don't know that I do. I just said it, obviously, but I'll repeat it in full. When I buy fabric or fat quarter bundles, I already have something in mind for it. And you know, some people, they just put that, they have something in mind, and then they didn't put a note with it or anything, and come across it a year later and go, what the heck was I thinking of making with this? There was something, or what pattern? So you can either take the pattern that you purchased and put it with the fabric that you purchased and stick it in a little tub by itself. And I will make it soon someday pile. Or like me, I actually pinned a note that says make Jacob's ladder with this stack. So, and I wrote that it needs to be king size. It needs to be blah, blah across, blah, blah down. And that I needed to get some yardage. And I actually wrote down how much yardage I think I needed for it. But so it's not an OCD thing, but I definitely have started the habit of writing down specific fabrics, what I had planned to do with them. So that way, when I pull it off the shelf or out of a drawer, it has a note and says what I'm supposed to be doing with it. Like I today put together a box of fabric together to do Snails at Sea. I don't know if you guys know it, but Google it, Snails at Sea quilt. And that is what I'm going to be making soon with little tiny blocks. So it's like Storm at Sea, but instead of having just a plain whatever block, I'm doing a snail trail block and putting it together like so. And that was on my list of things to do, and it's supposed to be a twin size, but we'll see. It might come out bigger. It just depends on how much more background fabric I can get for it. But yeah, I'm going to be making Snails at Sea, and it's going to be awesome. All because I made that baby snail trail quilt. I was like, oh yes, I need to do the Snails at Sea. I have, and it's just in a box. I put it all finally together today. It was kind of scattered around my room, and I was cleaning up to pull this out and get this situated. And while I was digging through the, colors behind me to match something up with this, I was like, hey, I should do this. So I made sure that that box got put together with all the pieces I need and all the yardage and so on for Snails at Sea. And I'm making it with no pattern. Everything is just going to be me mindlessly sewing. I know the snail trail block, so the at sea part is the only thing I'll be making up as I go, which is creating this, what visually makes it look like circles around it. If any of you know what Storm at Sea looks like, Snails at Sea is the same thing. It creates an illusion of a circle in the quilt. Lots of circles, I should say. So that's in a pile of I'm going to do soon. Trying to get my list of things I've been wanting to do and my list of things I need to do all down at the same time, and try to get patterns out there to you guys, whether via video or via video with some kind of download that hopefully someday will work on all devices by one uploading site. Chrissy, what are you doing? Sandy, how are you doing? Yes, easy. That sounds pretty. I'd like to do another water music. That was pretty quilt that I did years ago. Yeah. It's always good to take something that you've done before and change it up and do it the same but different. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, I'm going to do the snail trail, which I just got done doing, but I'm going to change it up. It's always fun to do that. Just like the Jacob's ladder, you can actually put Jacob's ladder in the Storm at Sea and still create the illusion of circles. You can put any block in that center block as long as those outer blocks, the sashing blocks, are the same. So you can actually make it a sampler, with specific sampler blocks, as long as your sashing blocks are the same is how a Storm at Sea or any block that creates a Storm at Sea is created. It's because the sashing makes that. And I have a big long list of ones that I've been wanting to do for a long time. Better get this. It clicks on. So that way it's ready. But I liked doing some of the things I've done before, but in different fabric lines even, or just recreating it in different ways, but not the same as the original. Kind of like that Moana quilt. That one was awesome. And I would like to do something like that again, but with a different theme, like I did Paw Patrol, and stuff. I want to do another one with a different thing, like say the Little Mermaid maybe, and make my own Little Mermaid and under the sea stuff. That would be really cool. But obviously that's like something that'll have to be ordered and I'll have to have a reason to do it in a hurry. I have been asked, somebody wants a My Little Pony, but they're waiting till they have the money. And then when that happens, I'll probably be doing a My Little Pony quilt sometime soon. And the new age My Little Pony, not the old age My Little Pony, which kind of sucks because I like the older My Little Ponies. All right, last piece, and then I'm going to pull them all apart and press them. And they should all line right back up, and I should have 42 10-inch squares. hair is everywhere. Okay, now for my little tool thing, and I'm going to rip them all apart, and this time it doesn't matter because there's no order. They are all finely sewn together. As long as I don't rip the fabric in my wonderful tearing. This is so much easier. Again, Michelle, you're a lifesaver with this wonderful device here. Although the razor blade actually fell out the other day, that's inside the side of it right here. The razor blade fell out the other day, and I had no clue where it landed, so I had to look, and it landed. Good thing it landed in the basket of scrap fabric. The stuff I usually don't toss, but I do toss in a way because I just use it to make for stuffing for dog beds thing. Yes, My Little Pony is definitely going to be cute if I do it. Oh my gosh. If you guys could see my pants, they're black and there's white stuff, white threading all over. All right, here we go. I'm going to bring this up here, bring this wonderful pile right here, and I'm going to press and read. If I can get it to stay straight. There we go. Let's add some steam to this thing too. And I won't have any trimming to do unless some of my little end pieces are sticking out. That's the only trimming I'll do. Because all these blocks should be, here, I'll bring it to show you. They should all come out exactly even where you added the things. So say if it did stick out, just trim it ever so slightly, you know. But see, they're flush. So they should all match right up. Okay, that one's just a little off. But you know what? I don't care because it's no reason for it to be perfect. Like this one matches. This one's not off. That one's correct. But I did rush this, obviously. I love rock and roll. All right, let's bring this close so I can not burn myself. So all I'm doing is laying them here right side up. And I just kind of like fold this back side under. See if I could show you with you guys being able to see. So the pieces, instead of setting the seam like this, which you can do, I've taken the seam and just folding it the way I want it, which is towards the white, because the block actually lays flatter that way, and just pressing it. So instead of setting that seam, I'm just folding it under, coming across it with the iron, just like that. So here's a piece that the thing sticks out. So the only thing I would do is take my wonderful scissors here and snip that. And I love these scissors. Anna gave me these scissors. I love them. Let me just leave this up here so you guys can see it. Move those out of the way because I'm going to need them. So I just fold it under towards me so it's in the center, and I just go over it. And I'm just going to make a big, huge stack. But again, see, this is a large print. If you see that, it's hard to put large prints. That's why I just went with this. This is a very easy pattern for large prints. Not all these fabrics are large print, but still, they're still cute. Again, I wouldn't have put rust with pink because there's a pink in here, but it'll look fine. Ooh, that one's way off, but I don't care because I don't care. This isn't anything specific. It'll probably just be a for sale quilt. Or maybe a family member will get it as a gift in a few years or something because it will sit around in a pile of stuff that I've made and done nothing with. Like this one sticks out bad. See that? That one's sticking out pretty tall. You can even see that on the camera. I know you can. So I'm just going to snip it right off. And these are repeat blocks, which is what's going to happen with any layer cake. Well, most layer cakes. I think they just put this one in, this pink one, with this stack because it's got trees and it goes with all these leaves. Because the pink doesn't really go with the rest, but the maroons do. That's in it, or I guess it would be considered maroon. I'm not sure. It also goes with these polka dots, which don't go with any of the flowers either. But as you can see, we have large polka dots. So I'm going to stay on long enough to lay these out on the floor. I'll turn the camera down and we can just watch how I'm laying them out. And then I'll get to the sashing. You can do cornerstones if you want. Again, that's all personal preference. I just gave you guys pretty much the idea of anything for all of you that are advanced beginners or advanced in quilting and know what you're doing. And I found this to be quite simple. But I'm giving you options to change things up and make it your own. Unfortunately, I would not, myself, make a 1-inch square cornerstone. I would just line everything up as best as I can, which I'm going to do. Even for a beginner, that would be the best bet, is to line everything up as best as possible. See, this print right here, I'm going to show you. This print would have been hard to cut into something else. You know what I mean? It would have looked weird if it was a half square triangle or something. It would have not looked correct. So it's a good thing I did what I did with it. Sometimes this certain fabric bundles, they read a certain way, you know, and you're like, oh, that pattern is not going to work, but this one will, you know. Now do you twist the blocks? When I lay them out, you'll see, Michelle. It made it really nice though. This is for beginners who, you know, some beginners would say 1-inch strip. No way, I'm not going to do that. This actually made using a 1-inch strip really easy. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. It made it really easy to use. And the layout will make it even better. And I felt that one flip. You can actually fill a seam flip under the iron. It's pretty cool. I'm turning this one up. I don't care what YouTube says on this one. You guys won't hear it as loud, but I can hear it. You know what I mean? I'll just sing it to you guys. All right, whole stack is now finished. And now we're going to turn the camera and lay it on the floor. Yeah, I make it look really easy. Yeah, I feel like that too when ironing hits. It's just right. Hey, it's supposed to say ironing. Oh, I kind of figured that when it says hiring, obviously it makes no sense. My quilting ain't hiring anything. All right, guys, we're going to turn this to the floor. Hopefully this is going to be a good angle. You can see my big ironing board over there. All right. This time I'm just going to sit on the floor instead of crawling on the floor because I do not want to hurt tomorrow that bad. All right, let's move this out of the way. It's going to be 6 across by 7 down because it's 42 blocks again. And I'm going to turn the iron off for now. We're just going to sit down here and we're going to mix them up. So we're going to go 6 across. I'm going to go up first. You guys can see that. I'm going to grab another piece and I'm going to go down to the bottom. So I'm going to go up to the right, down to the left. Let's choose this one. This one's going to go up to the right. And I'm going to have to go this way, I guess. 1, 2, 3. Let's go with this one. So down 4. Like this one. 5. 6. All right, let's scoot it up just a little as well. So I went where the small 3-inch part is up to the right, down to the left, up to the right, down to the left. Now I'm going to swap. So now I'm going to be down to the right, no, down to the left, and then up to the right. If that makes any sense, what I'm trying to do here. Let's see, down that way. So up. So the next, okay, first row is up, right, down, left, up, right, or up, right, down, right, up, right, down, right. The next one is down, left, up, left. That's what I was trying to say. I couldn't get my left and right out, guys. Sorry. I was having issues with my left and right. Can't see. All right, here we go. Like your sense of humor. All right, so let's see. Just got to pay attention to that. So down. That's what I feel when what you are. What I feel is what I feel what you are. Trying to make sure I mix them up really good too. Let's put this white one in right here. Oops, this will be top left and bottom left. And I don't want 2 of those same sort of colors together, so let's throw this one over there. So the first row is everything right, and the next row is everything left. And I'll move things around as I have to. You guys can see what's happening here, though, right? All right, let's put this one here. So now we're back to the opposite way. So, bottom right, top right, bottom right. Top right. And let's put one of these. Nope, that one's already there. Let's put one of these here. Bottom right. Next row. So we're going to go left sides now. So this is bottom left. Then top left is the next one. Bottom left. Top left. I don't want 2 of those next to each other. What do you guys think so far? And it's going to have sashing in it too. These white strips are going to go right back in it again. And I'll lay them on here so that you guys can see a couple. So you can see what it looks like. Let's put this white one down here. Yeah. Let's put this one. These are going to go to the right now. So let's start it with butterfly. Why not? So that, what did I say? Top, bottom right. Hold on, I gotta look again one more time. So it starts at the top. Okay. Then it goes to the bottom. Let's put this one. Bottom. But this one here instead. Bottom right. Then let's put this. Look it up on there. Let's put this one here. Nope, that's too close to that one. Let's put this one in here. I'm trying to think because there's not really many choices. So top right. This is bottom right. Top right. And then bottom right. A pattern is forming, guys. That's right. All right. So now we're the left. So I'm going to have to write this down. Michelle, unless you want to do it for me while you're there so that way I can write it into my description later. So the top row starts with the first piece, top right, and then it's bottom right, top right, bottom right. And then the next row is bottom left, bottom left, top left. And when I mean this is the piece that we're talking about, this little 3-inch square is going from a top to a bottom, if that makes any sense. So this one's bottom, but this one, top left, and then this next one, bottom. This one. Let's see, any more blue? Is this my only blue left? Let's put that dark one. That one's light. Let's put that one the same. I'm going to swap this out then for this really light one. So that's bottom left. And then we'll put this one right here. So it's fun. Aha! Put a bow, the white fabric intersection, and it would look like a Christmas present. Oh, it does, huh? I'm trying to look at the camera while you guys, what you guys are seeing, and yeah, I see it. All right, let's start this with this big flower. So this one's now top right, then bottom right, this polka dot one, and then top. I'm coming like directly down here to let you guys know. So now we have top right, and then bottom right. Oops. Top, bottom, top, bottom. Oops. Don't drop my computer, Tiffany. Don't drop my computer. And then we'll put this one here instead because that one matches that one and I didn't want that. And there's too many reds right here. This one goes up here. And this one ends right here. Alright guys, so far that is it. Let me get out of the way. And I'm going to lay the sashing pieces, what they're going to look like. So let me lay it where you guys can see it the best. Okay. So this is what it's going to look like. We're going to pretend for now, okay? So let's just pretend that is a whole strip. Okay. So I know you guys can see right here really well. So pretend that's a whole strip. And then we're going to pretend, let's see, can you see right here? We'll pretend that this is a whole strip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. Is there anything that needs to be moved around, guys? We're going to pretend this was a whole strip too. Doesn't that look awesome? Yes, I think it looks awesome. Top right, bottom right, first row, second row, top. No, second row is bottom left, then top left. It's going to go. So, let's see, can you see way over here? Yeah. So, top right is the first row. Top right, bottom right. Top right, bottom right. Second row is bottom left, top left, bottom left, top left, bottom left, top left. Then we have back to the right. So it'd be top left, bottom left, top left, bottom left. So it's repeating but backwards. So that's something that will have to be paid attention to if you're doing it the way I'm doing it. Obviously, you can lay it out any way you want. I am going to move this butterfly though right here. Okay, so if that's bottom left, this would be top left. Then this would be bottom left. Oops, that's left. All right, let's see. Anything else out of place, guys? Looks like bricks. Yes, it does. All right, let's see. Does anything else look like it's too close to something else? Oh, there's two right here now. So let's swap this. So this is going to be up, that. This one is going to be down like that. Now let's see. So this is where we play with it. So let me pull these up though for now. All right, something else looks wrong. Anything that's too close to the same color. A blue, two blues in that row, two blues in that row, one blue in that row, one blue in that row, one blue in that row. So the second row has no blue, and this row has two blue. So let's swap this one with this one. This one's bottom right. No. Bottom left. Yep. And this one is bottom right here. All right. Okay, every row has a blue in it now. And that should be good. This is the best way to do it. And look how big this thing is going to be, guys. And with the sashing, obviously, it's going to be the same exact size, which is 67 by 77 is what this is going to be. So now to do the sashing pieces, let me put this back where it goes. What I need to do is just cut some more 1-inch strips. And I'm thinking, since it almost went all the way up, what I'm going to do is just attach the 1-inch strips between each block and then press them in between each block, blah, blah, blah. And then I will just do the whole strip, you know, for in between each row. So for now, I'm just going to go in between each block, except for the outer sides. The outermost sides won't get nothing because that's going to get a stopping 2.5-inch border of white all the way around. So second row, bottom left, top left. Yep, that's exactly. So I'll write it in the description later, but since it's in the writing, that way it helps me remember. Actually, I could just remember by doing this while I'm chit-chatting with you guys. If I could find something to write with. So started with top right, bottom right. And that's from the square. So I'm going to draw a little picture of this right there. There we go. I drew a little picture because that's my big piece. And then R1, R2. What did I say again? Bottom left, top left, bottom left, top left. You guys see how my scribbles work out? Can you see that? Look at all that. It's all the scribbling with all the math. I pattern out. This is what I do. And then I scribble it out, and then I decide a name, and then blah, 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 blah. Yeah. That's how I write patterns, guys. This is why somebody needs to be able to decipher what I do here. 10.5. No, it's just 10-inch sashing. These blocks are here. I'm going to pull one up so that you guys can see. Let me pull everything off of my square ruler here. Pick up this last bottom one so that you can see. I'm going to lay it right here. It is a 10-inch block. So there's the 10 right here on that end. You see that? Lay it back on there, and then right down here is the 10. Adding these 1-inch strips took away, let me hold this up, nothing. See, the seams go right back as if you never cut nothing out. That's what happens when you add a 1-inch strip to any block. So what you get is a 10-inch square all over again. So it's like you never did anything. Obviously, I can't hold it straight, but it is a perfectly 10-inch square. So I just need to cut 10 inches. This is why I said it's a simple slice. All I did was slice it, add 1-inch strips, and bam, it's the same block all over again, but it's for large prints. And as you can see, the flower, let me hold this right here, continued itself out here. This part of the flower continued out here. So if you can imagine, if it had like a character or something in it, the rest of the character would come out the top. Or if you had something that had a really big, pretty flower, it would continue itself all the way around. You guys can tell that this is a rust color, I hope, with some blues and greens. So it's like a maroon, rust, cream, green, blue. I mean, it all goes together. It's just, I personally wouldn't have chose these colors to go together, if that makes any sense. I think I have too many butterflies too close to each other right here. I'm going to move one real quick. Let's put that butterfly right there. I'm out of the screen for a second, guys, because I'm trying to decipher where this butterfly should go, because one is sitting, it's not sitting correctly with me. I'll turn it down one more time, guys. It's not sitting correct with me with the butterfly print. So I'm going to swap out here, I think. This side. This one will go bottom right, top right, bottom right, top right, bottom right. And this is bottom left, top left. Okay, there we go. That looks a little bit more balanced. Minus these two matching kind of colors right here. We're going to swap these two. So that one can go there. And this one can go here. There we go. That's more balanced. See, you guys just have to lay things out, and yep, that's how it works. All right, everybody. So I'm going to not stay on anymore. Good night, Sandy. Tomorrow I'll come back if I can get it time with the girls. They don't come till the afternoon, so I might be able to do it in the morning if I get up early enough. I'm just going to leave it here on the floor for now and finish for tonight. Oh, I unplugged my iron. Okay, good. And I'll come back tomorrow, hopefully, and finish putting the sashing and put the rest of it together, and even probably be able to get the border on. So I might even cut the 1-inch strips before I leave the room tonight, just so that they're all ready to go. So, all right, guys, I thank you all for joining me tonight for some insomniac hours. And if you're new to my channel, same routine. Don't forget to subscribe right down there. Oh, there it is. Hit that bell and get notifications when I'm on, because I do live feed videos mostly. And don't forget to like my videos and share the ones that you like the most, as well as don't forget, in the description below, I will add the pattern stuff to this later when I get a chance, when I'm sitting around doing nothing. Other than that, that's it, guys. Bye. Thanks for joining me. Good night, all. Good night. Bye-bye.